Hey guys, how you doing? Scotty coming from the workbench here. I just wanted to do a quick little thing regarding my Kydex holster that I was working on. I tried doing an outside the waistband, but I still got to work on that one. So right now I finished my inside the waistband. I got a couple things that I wanted to go over really quick. A lot of don'ts. Kind of learned it the hard way, was able to correct it, luckily, or it would have cost me another gun. So here we go. I'm just going to turn the camera so you guys can see it. Alright, so this is the Kydex holster that I made. It's for my M&P Shield.45 that I fabricated, the TRL6, which everyone knows is made for the Shield 40 and the Shield 9mm. If you cut back a little bit here, you'll be able to fit this on correctly. Very snug, doesn't move, came out really great. So I made my own Kydex press. I ordered the Kydex, and then I ordered a thicker kind recommended by one of the guys on the channel here, on the page. So this is it. Came out really good. Ended up using some material off of old holsters. Retention is just outstanding. I mean, it just came out really good. So in the learning process, one of the things I had to do was flare out in the corners here. Because if you notice on the gun, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a wear mark there. And I know it's cosmetic, but it kind of bothers me. But anyway, I flared that out in the front here to try and keep that from rubbing. The other thing that I noticed too was when I made the holster. So you lay your Kydex under, and then you're going to fold it over. Was actually this way when I made it. And I went very high up. Now, by going high up and then locking it into the press and clamping it down, one of the things that I rarely see on any of the videos that I watched was your mag well. So after everything was said and done, and I made the holster, I tested my firearm to make sure it was still good. And what I found out was when I tried to release the mag, it came out like that. It no longer fell out. I had to literally fight to pull the magazine out. So then I realized by crushing it with the heated Kydex, I actually reshaped this so slightly to rub and compress right on the magazine. So what I had to do to correct that was I took my blue painter's tape and I did one layer around the gun. Each individual strip. Don't wrap it, because then you'll have all of these little crease marks in there, and that's going to make it harder to get it in. So once I did that, I placed the magazine. Now at the time with the tape, that's as far as it would go. So I used my heat gun and I lightly heated both sides, and then I gave it a tap, a little tap, to get it down more, heated it until finally I got it seated nice and easy all the way in. And then I let it cool. Now, obviously, with the tape on it, when you go to eject it again, it's not going to come out. It's going to sit in there. So what I had to do was put a small pair of pliers on here, push down on the safety, and then force the magazine out. After I did that, I removed all the tape, and as you can see, it is flawless. Right back to the way it was from the beginning. So remember, when you're pressing your Kydex into your press, if you're not using a vacuum press, obviously, when you put it in, if you wrap it around this part of the gun and you clamp that down, even if you have a magazine in, that little bit of play that you have there, it's going to heat this part right up against that magazine, causing the magazine to get stuck inside. Now, this was my second attempt at doing one. And this one with a lot of shaping and all of that, I don't really have all the tools for Kydex. I have gunsmithing tools, but nothing, you know, the right saw or sander and all of that stuff. I use my grinder. I use my handy dandy Dremel here. This thing is the best. I love this thing. Can't go wrong with it. And I was able to shape everything correctly. I could have stayed a little bit higher here to cover this part, but at this point I don't care. I wanted to have some kind of sweat card there. It's not that big of a deal. It's a live and learn process. And then even on here, when I made my indent, I don't know if you can see that, but when I made my indent, you want to make sure the screws on the inside aren't going to rub up against your gun. So I started to notice from drawing, I have a small faded mark here and one right off the extractor. And that was the inside of the bolts rubbing in there. So what I did was I just put another shim along with the original shim that I used, placed the weapon in, and then reheated it and just kind of used a pencil to push down and around to get it up a little bit higher to keep it from holding. And then I put a retention screw in here. Again, I'm not a professional. This is a homemade job, second attempt, and I think it came out great. Like I said, the retention is flawless. I've been carrying it for 2 days now. Drawing from it is ridiculous. Nice, easy, smooth draw. Also, another thing that I do, which I don't know if everybody would agree upon, but just to make it nice and slick inside, I use my oil, just throw it on a patch, and I just gave it a light rub inside to make sure that everything draws nice and easy. And of course it does. And then of course I always oil. I had a couple little scratch marks that I was able to buff out with oil, just, you know, for the initial first time that I started doing this, where it left marks, small scratch marks. But anyway, that's my review of it. Those are my do's and don'ts. Just be careful, like I said, when you're running it in the press, because when you crush this down, I mean, you're talking about the integrity of the firearm, and because you did it, I doubt very much Smith & Wesson's going to honor it, and you're going to get stuck having to pay for a whole new lower. But like I said, I got very lucky, and I was able to correct it without it being a problem. And like I said, the weapon is, you know, obviously it's empty. There's no rounds in it. But now my magazines just drop right out the way they're supposed to. So just be mindful of that when you're making your own Kydex holsters. You know, be wary of, you know, how much pressure you're actually putting on this polymer frame. Because remember, Kydex gets heated up to 325, 320 degrees. So you're resting that right on top of this and then compressing it down. You're going to heat your lower, and you're going to have all kinds of problems, because you got to remember, you have plastic parts in there, you know, along with your springs and sears and your rods and everything else. So just be wary of that. But anyway, it worked for me. Came out outstanding. Very happy. Thought I'd share it. You guys have a great day. Remember to carry on and be safe.